All right, so what's next, bro?
Let me talk to y'all about Mikey Williams and how y'all feel about this. So, anyone who doesn't know who Mikey Williams is, he's the 2022 number one player in the country, and I think this was last week sometime. I forget the day. He posted on Instagram, and I'll read y'all the Instagram post. Um, this has been a thought for years. This didn't just recently pop in my head. What a lot of coaches don't understand is that we don't need them. We control our own narrative. I'm very thankful that God blessed me to be in this position to do that. We write our own stories. We determine what the next page in life is going to be. Why does it always have to be the big universities? Why does it always have to be the big names? Have you ever thought about helping your own people out? We are the reason that these schools have such a big names and such a good history. But in the end, what do we get out of it? What a lot of top athletes don't understand is if you're a pro, then you're a pro no matter what college you go to. Even if you don't go to college, if you're a killer, you're going to kill anywhere. Not enough people speak on things like this, and I've been meaning to do so and put some word out. But I figured this would be a perfect time to do it. But I'm going to keep it short and simple. I just wanted to let everyone know that I'm riding for my people. I'm 10 toes behind the black community. Any way I can help or make a change in the black community, best believe I'm going to do that. Only God knows what the future holds, but when that time does come that I have narrowed my schools down to whatever number it is, there will be multiple HBCUs on the list, and they won't just be there for show. So, what do y'all feel about that?
Honestly, I just think it's impressive that a 15-year-old.
Go ahead. Because I was just going to say that.
A 15-year-old that just finished his freshman year of high school has this much foresight, is able to think the way he thinks. Because I know, like, I wasn't thinking like this when I was a freshman in high school.
Not at all.
I think it's impressive, and I think that I think he wants to be the one to lead the charge, but Mikey not going to college, bro. If we keeping it a buck, right? If he stays on the path that he's on, like
he'll probably go. It depends. He'll probably go
to the league. We'll see how it turns. Like we'll see how it turns out. But right now, it looks like he's going straight to the league. I do feel as though more top black athletes should at least consider HBCUs. Like I feel like earlier in the year, like I was kind of hopeful because Josh Christopher took a visit to Howard, but I feel like that was just to say he did it. You know what I mean? Like I don't think he was ever seriously considering it. But I do think it's something that a lot of the top black athletes should consider. The ones that's not really going pro. I think it's more kind of applicable to football than basketball, in my opinion, because like nowadays, the top notch basketball players are going to skip college. They found a way to kind of circumvent the NCAA, but definitely, man, the players they when they realize that they're the money and the money is going to follow them no matter what, is when we'll start to see the shift and we'll start to see the HBCUs grow, because if one person commits, then everybody else going to follow suit.
I agree with you. So I think that again, like you stated, a 15-year-old that he has this much insight. I don't even think he turned 16, can't even drive yet. And he's already thinking about like his future and helping his people. Like, no, I don't even remember the last really like big recruit to ever go to an HBCU, because since
they don't
beginning just talking basketball wise, I don't really know football, but like every athlete had to go to UCLA, Kentucky, at Duke, somewhere like that, just so that their name would be put out there, just so that they can make an NBA roster. But now, if people like him, Bronny, Amani Bates, people like that start going to HBCUs, then it's gonna be like, oh wait, they can still go to the NBA and not have to go to Duke. They don't have to go to a Kentucky. Then I can be with my people. Like that would be hot for them.
I'm gonna let y'all in on a little secret, man. If your name is on the draft board by the time you were senior in high school, that's pretty much where are you going to end up getting drafted? College really not going to do anything to help you, and it's not going to do anything to hurt you. So you could really go wherever. And if you perform semi well and show enough to the scouts to basically just confirm everything they already think about you, you're going to get picked.
Exactly.
But my thing about what I said about football is I think that because the NFL is structured the way it is, I think that it's more of an investment when you choosing a time investment and commitment when you're choosing your school that you want to go play football at, because you're doing at least 3 years, maybe more. A lot of people do 4 and 5 years in college when they play football and they have goals to make it to the pros. So I think that if you go to one of these schools, instead of trying to go play for the big name in the SEC or the ACC or the Big 12 or the Big 10, you go somewhere where they care about you as a person, they care about you as a student first. Because I know, shit, I was never a big time D1 at, like, I'm just a college backup. You know what I'm saying? A Division II backup.
No, you're not. Come on now, you can do
But
that.
but like, I know I started at HBCU. Some things happened, so I transferred. But I feel like those were the best 2 years I've had in my life. The coaching staff, they cared about us. Like, I felt like I could go to my coaches with anything. Like, they cared about us on a personal level. You know what I mean? Like, it was more than just football. Like, and we were like a family on the team. Like, everybody, like, we all looked out for each other. Like, even if, like, it was like certain people weren't your best friend, like, we all still had a good relationship. You know what I mean? There was no beef. Everybody looked out for each other. We all knew each other, and we all held each other accountable. I think a lot of that may be missing at the big time programs, because sometimes you just get there and you get lost in the sauce if you're not one of the top priorities. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So that's what I wanted to say about it. Also, I wanted to shout out CJ Bowler. He just transferred from Vandy to Alcorn State. So he's one of the first big dominoes to fall. He's a wide receiver. He played well last season. And also, I want to shout out to Trace Young, who started at Wyoming playing basketball, transferred to JUCO, and now is transferring to Alabama State, which is another prominent HBCU. So now we starting to see a shift. You know what I'm saying? But we waiting on that first big name to fall. You know what I mean?